Alright, here we go. This is the first game in a 3-game series between these two teams, and I'm hoping to God all 3 replays play all the way through. If they don't, they will go on BreakMech, and I will find out from the submission people who actually won the game. But it will be on Storm between the blue team on the left side. It is Makeshift in the Raptor Neo and Samuelman1 in the Alpha Striker, and their opponents, the Carbon team on the right side. It is none other than ProProProPro himself in the Void Neo and FriskyCow in the Alpha Striker. So it's going to be Neo Striker on both sides, and both teams actually not opening. I would consider corner first pretty standard. No, this first is pretty standard. This post first. So Carbon team has not touched this one yet, and we did see. I guess that was Pro. I wasn't really paying attention, but Pro doing a little bit of a harass early in the game, just as Makeshift is attempting to do right now. But ProProProPro and FriskyCow slightly ahead, I would say, already taking that top corner. Oh no, you know what? It's really, really even. This is already knocked down as well, so both teams now going to start to go for their top, or their forward outpost, closest to the middle outpost. And FriskyCow and ProProProPro have a slight advantage in that area, in that respect. They have more units there, 23 to 21 upkeep on the field for the Carbon team. And no Angel in this game, so and no Helix, so we won't see those long-range battles, those standoffish long-range battles. At least not in the same way that we would if we had those two mechs. Those two mechs create specific kind of scenarios where you can really attack the opponent from a very long range, and I mentioned that because Storm is very catering to those types of approaches. And right now, a lot of battling going on at the top over here, but 2 mechs versus 1 Pro might want to back out. Oh, actually, no. Samuelman has chosen to back out, so it's pretty much going to be even at this stage. 33 to 30, so both teams keeping up with their production. No one really lagging too much. And let's see what people have. Nothing socketed at Fort, and I guess on a high-tier game that's on a map like Storm, which is really, really fast-paced, requiring you to get your initial outposts really quickly, because trying to go something like Moneymaker build would be really, really dangerous, considering the fact that, the difference between a post and basically the income difference between one post is a lot higher than, I think the difference is like 6 or 7 Moneymakers, or maybe even 8 at this point. So it's not really even worth it to sink credits into that. Sometimes people start to invest a little bit more into Moneymakers, when they have established their mid-fight line, so they aren't as much of a risk of being pushed back, so they can kind of just hold off and then start to produce more units, etc., etc. The Carbon team slightly ahead, have cleared their neutrals side. Their side to neutrals, and Pro with this clump down here, but get under very heavy fire by Samuelman and Makeshift. A lot of units have gotten killed, 48 to 37, so the blue team's actually noticeably ahead. FriskyCow with a single longhorn to snipe a Bucky, and we'll stay down there to finish off that flacker. A great spread down here by the Carbon team on the right side, whereas the blue team hasn't really started at all doing that yet on the left side. But Creeps, oh man, Creeps hugging that Goliath, that looked pretty funny. But that one Longhorn still here did get that flacker finished off. Makeshift finally going to be able to see it, and not going to be saved by the Carbon team, or at least Pro, is actually going to grab it. So Makeshift not really focusing it down the way that I would kind of expect. He actually only has 2 Blade Guardians out, which I'm not really sure if that is a change in meta since the energy drain, because you don't want too much energy drain. I'm not exactly sure, but Frisky has 4, so I would assume that it's not really that huge of a deal. If you're going to commit to Blade Guardians, then you might as well go the full way, I would think. I think Makeshift just kind of forgot to finish building all 4 of his. But now we do have a very standard mid-fight battle here at in the mid on Storm. It's going to be spread out here and here for both teams. The Carbon team with more of a singular line, which is probably more effective. The blue team has a very spread out, fashion over here. Like, these Buckies are really going to waste. These tanks over here aren't really doing anything. The Carbon team, though, losing a couple more units. It's 49 to 59. So again, that's a very noticeable difference, and it could mean not an income snowball, but a snowball in terms of unit difference. If one team has a lot more and they keep the pressure on, if they lose kind of a proportional amount of units compared to their army, then the blue team will probably start to pull ahead. Right now they have hit unit cap, so they should start to make a move or considering building Whoppers right now. But on a map like this, especially against two very high tier players like FriskyCow and ProProProPro, it's going to be really hard to move in without taking a really huge risk, especially considering the reaction time that it would take Frisky and Pro, because it's such a close quarters map. Once you see someone start to make a move, it's easy to react to it quickly. Or rather, when someone makes a move, you can see it quickly because everything is really, really close together. You just fly by and you see some movement and you scout a little bit further and you realize, oh, now there's something that I need to do. But Makeshift and Samuelman keeping the pressure on, staying on top of unit snipes, and I think trading a decent amount. Okay, now we got 69 max over here, so we do have a Whopper out on the field for the blue team. I would expect more to come out so they can start massing up a little bit more. We have crossed the 50 mark in terms of upkeep for the Carbon team. But yeah, the artillery has come out, so we might... okay, well, let's see. How many healing units are out? Honeypot, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We might start to see a really, really trench warfare style battle here with artillery just firing in. Tank range extenders is one of our favorite community members, council members likes to call them. Which they kind of are and they kind of aren't. It depends on how the tanks are being used. I really don't like the fact that tanks are checkered, or, okay, that's another term that another member of the community uses, but, you know, how you kind of just micro them back and forth. I don't like tanks in that role, personally. Tanks need to be more of a, well, need is a strong word, but I would like to see them in more of a spearheading, a push type of thing. With their fire. I know Roller and Grinder and etc. like that is typically used in that fashion, but I really don't like to see... I mean, Roller kinda, only because of the heavy mines, but Grinder is probably what... Well, that takes a lot of damage. See, even as I talk, I mean, I was on council for a couple years, and this entire thing is just... You can go back and forth. I really think we should start doing some AirMech talks. Every once in a while again. That was kind of a failed show, but if you guys haven't heard of that, if you guys are newer, search AirMech Talk on my channel. It's kind of interesting. It was ridiculous to try to pull that off every week with different panelists, but hey, whatever. It was interesting at the time. Anyway, 78 to 66 max upkeep, or 75, but the blue team is ahead. So the blue team has clearly more units on the field, but okay, now we will start to see, okay, Makeshift and Samuelman are floating at 20 to 30,000 credits each. Frisky is way floating because, yeah, they have a lot of units that they can't build, basically. They have a lot of units. They don't have a lot of units out on the field because they can't build. So Frisky forced to sit on all that money. The one thing in AirMech that is really annoying, that it doesn't really get reflected, that you see in a lot of RTS games, is when one team or one player has an advantage in income and in numbers and stuff like that, they start to trade. They start to, you know, send units, and regardless if they win, you know, it's a net win for them in a battle if they send units to fight. Because they have higher income and higher unit numbers, they usually can sustain a you know, an attack, a constant attack, and eventually gain the lead and push the enemy team back. Not really the same case in AirMech because of how defender advantage heavy it is, which is a little bit sad. And I guess the ability to micro is not the same in AirMech because you can't tell units to target specific things. And that's one reason that in games like StarCraft, for example, probably the only game that I'm at least semi-familiar with besides AirMech in this context, is that you know, you can focus down units like that. But you can't really do it in AirMech. It all is based on positioning, and that's one of the kind of learning curve things that makes the game kind of hard to get a grasp on at first, because it plays way different than any other RTS, which I like because it is a mobile RTS hybrid. But anyway, I am ranting. This game is kind of going nowhere because of the artillery, a lot of harassment back and forth, and grinders coming out. So we are at level 6 and 5 on the Carbon team, 6 and 6 on the blue team. We are going to see some Goliaths start to come out at level 7. Hopefully speaking. And wow, grinder ferrying over by the Carbon team. FriskyCow with tons of grinders out on the field, and a couple more coming out. He's trying to do whatever he can with those, you know, with those numbers, and bringing some fixers down. I'm not exactly sure what the point of that was. Infantry in that case, just you know, dropping them like crazy. I mean, Morty's might have been better, but he has thinned the herd a little bit. It's 76 to 69, and Frisky dropping a couple of flackers down here, and Q healing out of the way there because he's really low on health. I guess there's flackers everywhere in this game. But yeah, that grinder, that mass grinder fairy was pretty insane. Going to be able to finish off a couple of whoppers. Makeshift not going to be, no, he's going to thwart that attack and push him out of the area before he's able to do anything with it. Samuelman parrying a couple of Longhorn at the top here. Obviously not going to be as effective as a mass grinder fairy, but he's got a couple of fairies ahead of the Carbon team. But with both mechs over here, I don't really know how effective this is going to be, especially with the Neo and the Striker, Stasis, and the Sword. AoE like crazy, deafening the blue team's unit's fire. Does Neo Stasis fire rate nerf apply to melee units? I guess it does. Probably, I mean, it's probably very apparent on, oh wow, that was the first blood at 10 minutes in the game, but probably very apparent on Assassin and Butcher, because you can see them physically attack, like swipe their blades like that. But I guess on things like Grinder and Roller, you won't really be able to tell that they're attacking slower. That's kind of beside the point. But the blue team has surged back to up to 80 upkeep, and it's 63 for the Carbon team. So the blue team might be able to make this happen. Are there any money makers on the field at all? No. I guess it's, I mean, it's not an income advantage at all because it's the exact same number of posts per team. But now the blue team moving up. FriskyCow trying to handle this by himself with zippers. ProProProPro is here now himself, but there are too many tanks over here. One flacker, so it's not going to thwart mechs too quickly. But yeah, going to be very difficult to deal with considering the number difference over here. The blue team with a great coordinated fairy to get an established unit presence down here at the bottom right. Frisky still dropping zippers for distract. I mean, at this point, it's not really going to get them anywhere. There are not any, like, well, I guess there are a few units firing in. That's kind of really, oh, okay, now Frisky going to try to cheese the back post. Oh boy, oh boy. Gets himself killed. Flacker, I guess that was lag. I'm hoping that wasn't replay breaking.
Outpost down.
And it was. And now it's nonsense. That's lovely. Is it nonsense? Yes. Oh, kill me. Kill me now. What happens every time I try to do this? While I'm here, if anyone is interested in applying to be my replay verifier, I will add you to the replay pool, and you can play through replays and let me know if they break or not. That's it. You would really save me a lot of trouble, and you'd motivate me to cast games more. If anyone is interested in that position, message me on Discord, or whatever. I don't check my in-game mail. But yeah, if you'd like to assist the AirMech community producing more videos, more commentary videos, I'm pretty sure Makeshift and Samuelman won this, but we'll find out when they comment. Frisky and Pro. I'm gonna check games 2 and 3 in a little bit. Maybe not today because now I'm depressed. See you guys next time.